friends, and welcome back to the MMA channel with me, Marisol. I know it has been quite some time since I've done a video on this platform. It's been about like 2 weeks or so since I've done one, and I'm so excited to be back and doing this video. This is a highly requested video, so I mean, I understand, guys. This fight is so hyped for. Zhang Weili has a lot of hype behind her, and actually, I think people are so much more excited for Joanna Jedrzejczyk versus Zhang Weili than they are the main event, which is Adesanya versus Romero. But frankly, I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to get into why that is, and I'm also going to tell you my prediction for this highly anticipated fight. So let's get into it. Like I mentioned, Zhang Weili just has a lot of hype behind her, and I think it is completely warranted. The woman is 20-1 in her MMA career, and that one loss was in her very first MMA fight, and since then she has been on a 19-fight win streak. That is practically unheard of, so I think it makes the absolute most sense that people are so hyped for her and that she has all of these great new fans. And she's also been so incredibly dominant in her performances in the UFC, so it just makes sense to me. But of course, with this fight, we cannot forget the phenom that is Joanna Jedrzejczyk. She is absolutely phenomenal. We cannot forget how she just reigned supreme in the strawweight division. She was the strawweight champion for 3 years, and quite frankly, until her loss to Rose Namajunas, she was undefeated in her career. For all of that time, she was undefeated until that loss, and for 3 of those years, she was the champ, like I said. And if you were a fan back then, about like 2014 to like 2015, like that time, that era, it was amazing to witness because it was Joanna Jedrzejczyk and Ronda Rousey just on top, whooping butt and just reigning supreme. And they were fantastic for the sport, fantastic for women's MMA, and they just, you could tell that both of them were thriving in the limelight, in the spotlight, and specifically Joanna Jedrzejczyk in this situation. She has talked about in the past that Zhang Weili is struggling with that aspect of being a champion, as many fighters have struggled with that portion of being champ. But Joanna Jedrzejczyk did not whatsoever. She's talked about how much she loves that aspect of being champion and working with media and doing interviews and essentially everything that goes along with that portion of being champion. I haven't seen Zhang Weili struggling with that aspect of it whatsoever, so I'm not sure that that's completely warranted to say. But again, you know, they're about to fight, so any kind of trash talking and whatever helps you hype up the fight in any way definitely is a good thing for sales. But ultimately, in terms of Joanna Jedrzejczyk, she loved being champion. She did well in the limelight, and I think she did a lot for the sport in that regard as well. But you could tell that she wants it. She's talked about wanting to be champ. She's talked about wanting to be in the spotlight yet again in that way. So there is a lot on the line for her in this fight. But ultimately, I think it'll be all for naught, as I do think that Zhang Weili will remain champion, and this is why. Joanna Jedrzejczyk is a striker by trade. She has an extensive kickboxing background, and that could come in handy in the fight. Again, she's phenomenal. She's a great fighter. She is technical. She has a lot of fights that have gone to decision. But when it comes to someone like Zhang Weili, I think that there's a chance that she just won't, a chance that she won't win this fight unless she does get a knockout early in the fight. But if it goes to decision, I do think it would go to Zhang Weili. And ultimately, Zhang Weili is extremely powerful as a fighter. She is strong, and she's much more well-rounded. We've seen her bloody opponents in the past, and of course, that isn't the end-all be-all. That's not necessarily the ultimate metric, but it does show how dominant a fighter is against their opponent. We've seen her manhandle Andrade, which I was not expecting. I was not expecting that fight to be over so quickly, and I even questioned as to whether or not she could become champ, but she did it. She pulled it off, and she made Andrade just look like she didn't belong in the octagon with Zhang Weili. So that was surprising to me, and just an example of the type of fighter that Zhang Weili is. And then on top of that, we've seen her fight with Aguilar, and that fight I think is a good example of what she's capable of doing. She bladed her up with amazing elbows. She was able to control her with her side control, and then she got a fantastic triangle and then was doing elbows from that position, and then from there got the armbar submission win. So that's also a great example of what she can do in the octagon. So ultimately, when you have someone with that skill set against someone like Joanna Jedrzejczyk, who's much more one-dimensional, I think it is ultimately much more likely that Zhang Weili will be victorious in this fight and remain champion. But again, like I said, there is a lot on the line for Joanna Jedrzejczyk. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that all of that is going to motivate her to end the fight early, perhaps, and get that win to become champ again? Let me know in the comments down below if you think that's the case, or do you agree with me, and do you think that Zhang Weili will be victorious and remain strawweight champ? I definitely think she will, and I think she's going to be strawweight champ for a long time. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and as always, don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more content. I'll be